Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you all for coming out today. What you are doing here is tremendously important to elections in Chicago and really elections nationally. How do we continue to stay in the forefront of elections, and how do we continue to take our voting population forward into the next generation of elections in our country? One of the things that we must address and solve is the declining participation of our population in elections and in voting and in registration. And if you look across demographically at some of the groups, you'll see that there is a disproportionate negative participation effect among our young people. And they're the next generation. So why is that? And what do we do to solve that? And you guys are going to be very, very instrumental in coming up with, we hope, new ideas on how we conduct elections in the future. We're going, in a sense, back to our roots here and reaching out to the community, you folks here, to tell us what are we doing right, what are we doing wrong, and how do we improve upon how we run our elections.
I'm Andrea Reed, and I'm with the Greater Roseland Chamber of Commerce. And one of the reasons I think it was important for me to be here is because I don't like what I'm seeing in the political process. And I know that we need to get more involved in our community. We need more people voting, more people to be involved with the process.
I'm here because as an organization we determined about a year ago or so to pay more attention to what's going on in politics and try to impact things by participating in voter registration drives, and to maximize the number of people in the community who are registered, and in general to be increasingly perceived as an organization that has an impact on the political process.
My great-grandmother, my grandmother were not allowed to vote. The fact that I marched and picketed for the right of African Americans to vote, so it makes it very important to me, very important to my children.
You know, we all have to have leaders of our countries in order to make decisions for us, because we can't control everything, you know, that's happening in the world or whatever. And if we do not vote, there will never be a change that we want to have happen.
But I also co-founded a nonprofit called and I actually met Mr. Jim Allen, one of our veterans events.
I'll leave everything else for later because I have a lot to say. Sorry. I've been involved at a very young age. I was a student judge in high school, and then I've been a student in person, and I've also witnessed
The question was about why it's important to vote, right? You have choices, please vote. With 22%, your vote is power tied with empowering community and voter. With 16%, preserves democracy, protects freedom. With 12%, voting affects our lives every day. They are all good choices. What reforms can the board do? Edging with 22%. Same day and online registration. 21%, universal polling place, so these are vote centers, with 15%. Allow online and phone voting, with 12%. Educate youth about civic responsibility, with 8%. Mandate civic classes, with 6%. Engage faith, youth, and community organizations, tied with better outreach. What can you do? 19%. Call friends and family, a culture of voting. With 16, educate people, particularly youth. 15, organize people to vote. With 12%, there's a tie. Encourage legislature to support reform, tied with register people to vote. 8%, promote that it's cool to vote. 7%, there's a tie, be more active and be more knowledgeable. And then we jump down to 4% with motivate yourself to vote. The last question, as it relates to what you discussed, it's what can organizations do? With 24%, advocate for voter education and civics. After that, we are at 13%, a tie. Promote process and responsibilities with incentives, tied with create paths for people to be engaged. With 12%, train people about different candidates. With 11%, register people to vote. This is what organizations can do. Empower the lifestyle to vote, which is 8%, tied with 7%. Must register before graduating high school, tied with create a positive role models. And I think there is one more with 4%, engage in legislative reforms.
And I want to thank everybody here for coming. We're going to take this and we're going to run with this. We're going down to Springfield. We're going to every place we can and say, this is what the community wants. This is actually a community outreach, and this is what the community wants. So again, I want to thank everybody for all your help. Thank you.
I think it's exciting that the Chicago Board of Elections is reaching out to diverse communities to see what are the challenges that we face. We try to register our communities to vote, and then on election day try to bring people out to have their voices heard. So it's exciting to hear from the Chicago Board of Elections, to see what resources they're going to be rolling out for the next election cycle, and to hopefully pass on our needs as various communities and organizations, what we expect to see from them.
It's been very interesting to sit with friends from other communities, exchanging views, exchanging experiences, and it's very helpful to have it moderated and structured by the Board of Commissioners.
I've learned, talking with the people at the table, people with disabilities have issues trying to get registered. Asians have problems getting people registered. Seniors have problems getting people registered. Latinas have problems getting people registered. So now we know that our problem isn't just my personal problem, it's a problem across the board, and the board is giving us an opportunity to put together some ideas to change that.